So if you have a Quaker, all the parrots that I have, this is definitely the messiest one. You can see he just takes everything and throws it on the bottom of the cage. This is like 2 days worth of sapphire as well. So just so you know, this is not like a week. They actually clean his cage a lot more often than they clean a lot of the cages. He also tends to collect every single toy and put it in his cage. So these I kind of like because you can see it's really, really easy to remove the bottom pan. And I spray down the cage with just a mixture of white vinegar and water so that it's nice and sanitary. There's also some great sanitary wipes that I get from Amazon, and I use those a lot as a final wipe on the cage because they're used in vets to kill all kinds of bacteria. So these wipes are wonderful. So after you really clean the cage, and this one doesn't need a pressure wash. I do have a handheld pressure wash, but this one has been cleaned so often. This is just like a maintenance. If it should get really dirty, which I never let them get that dirty, but I would say once a month, I do take the cage completely apart and I pressure. Hey, Sapphire, peekaboo. Sorry about that. The Quakers are having a Quaker conversation. I do take the cage apart. Hey, stop it. Alexa, turn off music. Alexa, turn off music. Guys, what is the problem over there? What's the problem? Huh? What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? There we go. We got him distracted. What's happening? So as you can see, I'm just kind of wiping over this one because there's not really a lot. There's a little bit of dust, which they naturally have from their feathers. It keeps their feathers like this dust. It keeps their feathers nice and like kind of moist. I wipe over the bars with the antiseptics. And again, you don't want to use anything that is not good for birds. So first it's the vinegar and water, which is just 50-50 white vinegar with water. I tend to use distilled water or like a fresh water. I don't use tap water just because I don't like what's in the tap water, if it's not filtered. I just think in general, just it's better to use filtered. But I clean all the areas of the cage. I give it a good wipe down. And this happens every time I clean every cage because I do have like vegetables and fruits and stuff in there. And of course you've got birds in there. And birds do go to the bathroom. So, you want to keep it really nice and sanitary. And it's just better. Your birds stay healthier. You don't have long-term any issues with them. And they love a happy, clean cage. You also want to spray and wipe down, any surfaces that they're standing on. So just as a precaution, I always give it a nice spray. Now this is where the pressure washer, guys, peekaboo, 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 peekaboo. If you want to talk, can we say peekaboo? What about buddy, buddy, buddy? Buddy, buddy? Buddy, buddy? Peekaboo? Buddy? Buddy, 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 buddy? Buddy? Buddy, 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 buddy? Buddy, buddy. If he wants to talk, at least he can say something good, right? Okay, so back to cleaning. So I have a handheld pressure wash one, and that takes care of everything and really, really cleans it. But of course, in the real world, you do not have time to pressure wash every single cage every single day, right? Unless you do, I don't know. But I think that that's an overkill. It doesn't really get that dirty, although the bottom does get dirty after a few days with the Quakers, right? But now it's all nice and clean and very, very wiped down and all fresh for them. So I don't put them back into the cage. I do this while they're feeding and over there having fun with their free time, so that it has time to air, even though it's just vinegar and water and a little bit of antiseptic from the vet approved wipes. But still, I would never really use it and let the birds be inside the cage while I'm using it, just because it does have a smell. So, you know, it's better if they're over here enjoying their breakfast and out for the day, you know? And that's what they are. They're out, and he's going to start collecting all those toys again from all the different areas that I hide them in, and he will bring them one by one to his cage, because that's what Quakers do. They love to do that kind of stuff. All right, so for this is going to get sprayed down really well with the vinegar and water. And then I'm going to work on the grate. And if there's anything on the grate that needs pressure washing, this is the part that I would pressure wash. You can throw it in a tub or a shower and use the handheld pressure washer. I actually linked the one that I use down below, and all of the solutions that I'm using, as well as the vet approved antibacterial wipes that are amazing, because they literally will rid any bird illness, right? Like any bird illness. So if there's any bacteria, it's going to go. So that I like to do here, because they do walk around this, but as you can see, this is actually not that dirty. It's just a little bit, but mostly because I just cleaned it a few days ago and wiped it down. Just wiping this down often really, really helps so that nothing sticks to it. Then this is just a baby pad underneath, so it's safe. You can also use paper or paper towels. This goes directly into the trash, and then the whole thing gets wiped down, and we're done. They have a nice clean cage, and they're ready to go back and dirty it up and fill it up with toys, aren't you? Aren't you? Hello. Hello, Sapphire. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. Do you want to play peekaboo? Peekaboo. Are you so cute? Do you want to play peekaboo? You want to play peekaboo? You're so cute, Sapphire. Everybody loves you, Sapphire. Say peekaboo. Peekaboo. Pika? 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 We'll wait. Buddy, 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 buddy. Buddy, 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 buddy. Buddy? Buddy? Peekaboo. It's funny, because if I start up the vacuum, he will literally say every single word that he knows. What are you doing in there? Are you stealing somebody else's goodies? Sugar, are you stealing somebody else's goodies? Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's the basics of the cleaning that happens during the month for the cages. After that, if it gets really dirty, like I said, I will, if it gets away from you or something happens and you think that it really needs the whole thing taken apart and pressure washed, then great. But honestly, if you keep up with this regimen on these cages, it doesn't take very long. It's all of like 8 minutes. And they stay really clean and really good. At the most, maybe if you see the perches starting to get dirty, or you think that they're just have bacteria, you can just take the perches out and pressure wash the perches and put the perches back. As always, all of these little containers, they get washed and wiped out with antibacterial wipes, then put in the dishwasher. So at first they get emptied, they wiped out, sprayed with vinegar and water, then put in the dishwasher overnight, and then they're heat dried. So I have plastic containers that I'm using as well as stainless steel, but for the plastic and the stainless steel, everything gets double washed just to make sure. So you want to have like a big amount of these ready to go so that you can switch them out depending on how many birds you have. I have at least 2 sets for every single bird, not just every single cage. So that way, if I do want to have wet and dry food, I've got plenty, you know, to be able to switch them out. Anyway, do you want to see the baby bird? The baby bird we just got fed, and now we are resting. You're supposed to be resting. Baby bird, you're supposed to be resting. You're not supposed to be up with us. You slept a lot last night, didn't you? Yes, nice and warm and happy. What is it in there? So it's 75 in there and 54% humidity. Perfect. And he's a nice clean shavings. And if he needs a ceramic heater, I have a ceramic heater that I use, especially just to keep the temperature even. And that's it. All right. Hope you guys found this helpful. lots and lots of information on my channel because I have Indian Ringnecks, as you can see, my baby bird, and then also Mr. Yellow is an Indian Ringneck, as well as Mango, who is up there. Hi, Mango. Hi, girl. And then we've got cockatiels, my Coco and Ginger, who are so, so sweet. Oh my goodness. We have Quakers. We have Sage and Cinnamon over there that were just out this morning. And now we have Sapphire and Sugar are out. They take turns because the Quakers can be really territorial, especially during spring. And they have been laying eggs and stuff, so they literally, the females, are a little bit ferocious with each other. I don't know why, to tell you the truth. I do know why, but at the same time, if I would have had these 4 Quakers as babies and raised them, they probably wouldn't have this much trouble. Somewhere along the line, they had, you know, just a little bit of like lack of training or lack of socialization. You know, I think actually Cinnamon and Sage were just kept in their containers way too long and isolated too long, you know, so that they get along with the other birds pretty well, but they do not get along with their mates over here, who they spent like the majority of their life with, which is amazing to me. So something went wrong along the way, but you know, Quakers can be like that, so we just kind of worked through it. Here, he's gonna take this now. Just kidding. All right, have a great one, you guys, and thanks so much for hanging out with me.